You're listening to The Inside Scoop, a podcast about self-improvement and knowledge seeking. Our aim is to explore a diverse range of topics and perform self-checks on whether we're being the best versions of ourselves every week. I'm your host, Mario Cerbalis. I'm here with Oscar. Hi there.
Hi there, mate.
And we're checking in after a week of... it's like... last week was very tiring. I actually just had a vision like 5 seconds ago. How we were literally a week ago sitting here thinking, my God, dude, it's been such a tiring week, right?
Yeah,
And we were making predictions, raising hypotheses like, how is this one gonna end up, right?
maybe.
I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm more energized, and I've been like programming till like 8 p.m.
Yeah,
today, and I'm still ready to tackle it afterwards. Like I don't know, it just feels like more, um, well, less tiring week for me personally. I don't know about you. If you want to share?
yeah. So, I think it's just crunch time. Gotta get the code out. Gotta produce the code. Just gotta sit down and do it.
So it's not
Yeah,
that like the week itself was easier, but it's just that the pressure is kind of
yeah,
motivating us. Is that what you mean?
yeah. I think everybody is doing lots of coding. All of my team was, all of my backend anyway, was all coding this week a lot. Um, yeah,
Yeah, that might be it too. Um, so more structure. I don't know. I feel like we did have more clarity and structure, especially with the way we use like version control and then Git and everything. Like people seemed to have less issues with it,
mm-hmm.
more clear direction of how to do it, and so I feel like it was, well, more effortless to actually
Yeah,
merge all the changes in code and stuff. It was nicer. Like, how about your situation with your team?
yeah. So you may feel also that you're coding a lot more, or like you may be actually coding a lot more because everything's like set up now and stuff, and it's less problem solving, figuring out like setting up and stuff. That's all. You feel like you're not doing a lot maybe, and now maybe the tasks that you're doing feel like you're doing a lot more, or putting a lot more effort into it. Uh, but personally, yeah, this week's been better in terms of productivity, I think, than last week. Got my shit together. Um, but it's yeah, my mind's all a mess still. There's a lot of things going on here. Like I have to get into. It's going to make me maybe take me until the next end of next week till I'm properly in the set into the season, if you like, as you would have in football,
Mm-hmm.
or any sport.
So
Uh,
speaking of which, uh, what happened? Did football got canceled?
oh yeah, football cancelled. I don't know why. I don't care really anymore. This shit is messing up everything, you know. But we just gotta do it, and yeah, we're doing some virtual stuff. But they giving us a challenge, a competition to win a kit, football kit for the club. Um, we got to do some exercises and record ourselves doing it, and then yeah, so it's moved like they kind of like try to um make up for that and make sure we have something to do and stay engaged and stay fit as well for when we are back on the pitch. So there's that. I was just on the run. One of the challenges is to do 5K a week. It's not a lot, but yeah, I was just on the run a second ago.
No, well, at least yeah, at least get out somewhere. Yeah, because I was thinking this might impact performance, right? Imagine a Sunday, I don't know, afternoon or whenever you train, right? Just getting outside, clearing out the head, just
Yeah.
chilling. Because, for example, Taekwondo, like, dude, I was legit in the zone this week. And it just, it's such a refresher. I would never think of, like, well, I have never thought that, physical activity could make such a big difference in the productivity, I guess, or whatever. But
Mhm.
yeah, this lockdown, the second wave of whatever lockdown thing happening, cafes apparently. So I've had two unsuccessful attempts of trying to go and grab a coffee at like 8 or so p.m.
Yeah.
Even though the cafe claims to be open till like 9, right? My
Well,
idea was like, okay, maybe it closes an hour early because, you know, they can't. I don't know. So it was just like some weird theories. And then I realized that the new regulations that were announced, all like the venues like that have to close by 6 p.m.
right.
and bars have to close till 10. Uh, and I was like, oh, okay, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you come and look at the door, the door has the opening times, and it literally says like 9 p.m. But yeah, so I feel like the whole lockdown is like,
Yeah, I don't follow the shit anymore.
oh,
Like,
dude.
I only found out because my roommate told me that. I think it was my roommate, or I saw it somewhere by chance that they close at 6. But I don't follow that shit anymore.
Oh,
You
I
know.
found out because of a YouTube ad. I was like, I usually skip YouTube ads, right? But then this came on, and I'm like, oh, it's probably one of the only like slightly interesting videos that I'm actually forced to watch. So I didn't even skip. I watched till the end. I was like, oh, okay. So by watching this
Nice.
ad, I actually familiarized with myself with like the lockdown regulations and like the whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of crap.
So messed up. The lockdown's not really going to help, is it?
Oh no. Oh no. And it's like such a weird situation where like I mean, now we're into our crunch time
Yeah.
to get through the code, correct? Um
Mm,
what they had in mind with all this lockdown thing was, I would imagine, did they say like 16 days? Some sort of like a 16 days. Uh, it's as if it's a crunch too, like stricter regulations, like everyone just so get your craps together, go in and friggin' beat the virus, but it's just not gonna happen. Like the more times they do this, the more
yeah.
people are gonna actually take advantage and just they don't care, man.
Yeah, well, it's not. It's definitely not the approach. It's not like we have a fucking clue what the right approach is, but like nobody fucking does, and just making a couple rules, thinking it's gonna solve everything. It's like no, it's not. It's deeper
Yeah,
than that.
no one knows what the
It's like if you want to like do anything, like actually get a fucking put together a team on this, right? And I don't know, find out how to enforce this shit properly, and uh, like stop having maybe I don't see police around, right? We all suffer fucking from this shit. Like people went into lockdown and people were like, okay, we can do this. But then whole lot of fucking people were like, ah, fuck this, we're just gonna go and party and shit. It's like, yeah, we're gonna fucking go out, go do house parties and mingle and shit. Gonna fucking spread the virus, and then everybody else is going to be locked up again.
yeah, it's kind of sad. I mean, we literally had a house party outside our apartment. Just like there's this area by our building. It's like an inner garden type of stuff, and dude, there was a lot of people. That was kind of loud. My flatmate comes over. He's like, "What the hell is happening?" I'm like, "I don't know, dude." We looked through the window, and there's just like people out there, like laughing, playing music, doing all sorts of like weird stuff. I'm like, "Oh, maybe that's the reason why we keep having those lockdowns."
Yeah,
But
well,
the thing is, it's so hard to like, I don't know, like I can't judge, right? Like I'm not
well,
having parties myself. That's it, right? But maybe some other people like they're like,
there's no
"Oh,
up
that's
to
my
people. I
right,"
don't care
but
about
then
like fuck it. I might be in a place someday where I would want to do that. Like I would just go and be like, I don't care. I'm gonna go fucking party. Fuck everybody. I could have totally been in that place, but if we have rules like that up for everybody, fucking up everybody's shit, then at least like try to enforce it. And then I hear like, oh yeah, police empty the house party, but yet I still have fucking they're still happening everywhere. Like, and I
oh
see
yeah.
less police around now than I did at the beginning of the lockdown. So yeah. Anyway, Visual's topic, like even does he block down? Is that even the right approach, right?
Correct.
Like
But
what
would we ever know, right?
yeah.
Maybe we'll all have to eventually experience this virus. Like,
Well,
I don't
that's it. Yeah.
remember when the last time I was kind of sick or ill. I don't know. I don't remember like a. It must have been like last year or something for sure, but I just don't remember the feeling of just. Yeah, I wouldn't want to like catch the virus, obviously.
You wouldn't want to have it, but you can't have everything.
True. Like maybe there would be some positives, like get immunity or something, or then don't know.
What get immunity to this virus? Okay, I don't know how that shit works.
Yeah, you get it once, your immune system is like, okay, that's the one. It's like the flu. Although you need to have the flu vaccine from time to time still. So yeah, I have no idea how this works exactly. So all I currently know is just code and crunch. That's a good word that you yeah. That's a good
Yeah,
word now.
well, it's called crunch. Yeah. Uh, oh yeah. Someone I've even noticed as we're doing this. Um, I kind of realized that we put quite a lot of effort actually into the podcast. Into like coming up with topics and actually properly having discussions and shit. And the reason I noticed that now is with so much other work that we have to do now, I'm just so tired and I just can't be bothered to come up with a topic and have a, you know, engaging discussion.
Yeah, I can understand that. And um like you probably understand because I think you also suggested certain things to like, research biographies and all of that, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's a good idea. Although having a sustainable weekly podcast is kind of difficult if you want to. I mean, that's why kind of having guests is nicer.
Mm.
But then one of the recent Joes, um, who was he talking to? I think he must have been talking to Lex Friedman himself on his podcast about like why does he go one on one with a person? You know, how it's kind of like more difficult to have a guest and like or just have three people, for example,
Mm.
because then the conversation is a bit different, right?
Right.
Like then people like either talk to over each other or like one of them gets left out or like whoever that might
Yeah.
be, right? Like I don't know. I like the conversation we're having here. That's kind of cool.
For today.
Well, any day, the podcast, right?
Yeah. I
So
mean, generally, yeah.
yeah,
There are days like today that are slower. Um.
yeah, but it's like a good. I don't know. How do you even call that? Like a reference point itself. Like when you look back at it, you can kind of analyze yourself. I would imagine
Mm.
because
The
I've
podcast.
heard more swear words from you in like the past like 5 minutes than I think I ever have. It's like it just shows our inner states and everything.
Yeah, that's a cool thing about it. I can look about it's weekly. I can look back at it like a diary if
Man,
I
you
want to.
can write an AI eventually. It's just take all the keywords or like the manner of speech or the tone or whatever. Don't know how it's gonna work, right? But like just have something that would analyze you across the weeks and then
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of building some sort of a system to monitor myself,
hmm.
uh, to study, um, have myself as a subject for study in psychology. Um,
What sort
because I'm
of
taking
a monitoring thing?
all sorts. Well, digital marks, especially like building some application on probably Linux that will use connect to different APIs to see what I'm doing, like on Facebook, what I'm searching, my fire like browsing history over time, and lots of different things, um, and try to use that kind of data, lots of different stuff. How much I'm writing in like in particular days or for periods of time, how much work I'm getting done. I know Windows or some Microsoft has already got something like that, released it, but I don't want to be like I don't want to be sharing my data like that with them. So
That's true. I've not heard of anything like that. What is that?
yeah, we send some emails to track your productivity or track like what you're doing. I can't remember, but
Ah.
yeah, I kind of brushed it off. I don't even really know what it is, but yeah, I want to write some stuff up,
Yeah,
and
it's just probably like let Cortana loose on your computer to just monitor every single interaction and mouse twitch that you're doing.
yeah, and then biomarkers, um, you know, like physical responses, physiological responses. Um, writing, keeping a diary every day, but not really for like particular things, because that's then subject to being influenced by the experiment itself. But instead just writing diary however I want every day, and then after a while going back and reviewing it, and or having some sort of algorithm review it and pick stuff out from it, and all sorts of things, just in any possible way that I can monitor the way I I I change over time, and then try to use that for experimental psychology.
Sounds
All
interesting.
the
I could not conceptualize or just imagine how this problem, like what the approach should be, but I guess that's the beauty of those difficult problems, right?
yeah, I mean, the idea is, well, I have this idea right now. I'm not a taught psychologist, or you know I haven't studied psychology formally, but I think that that's key, because if you go and study something, sorry, directly, as you kind of learn the same shit everybody else learns, and you kind of set your mind in a certain way. uh, but because of the way of course there's used to that, because there's very lots and lots and lots and lots of good knowledge out there, and they're absolutely there's used to it. But taking an approach of first kind of experimenting with trying to figure out how the brain works and trying to analyze it, and stuff, without much prior formal um, learning of psychology, means that I can go on my own tangent and then go back with this kind of model of the brain, or and the world of my own, uh, and kind of look at literature and be like, okay, like this seems to work, this works, right? um, and whether it's right or not, like it's up to chance, really, because not everybody can be right. The thing is about just taking the shot, because you can have so many like geniuses that you never hear about, because their ideas turned out to be they're trying to explore some ideas that were um, that turned out not to be any good, and like they spend their entire lives on it and it was no good. But people just need to be taking these shots. That's how you eventually get somebody who um, finds something. um, but it's like the taking a risk. You get lots of people taking the risk, and only some can make it. uh, but yeah, and I know that sounds like I called myself a genius right there, but I'm not doing that.
But the
um,
possibility is there. That's the thing.
yeah, it's just about taking the shot, because otherwise, for me anyway, life is boring. So
Mm. Gotta try it out.
gotta try it out.
Yeah, like this CSGO tournament that I just noticed in my actually university's email junk mailbox. It's like we registered to this platform where United Kingdom university esports happens, like tournaments. Like I think we tried it in last year, and I wasn't able to gather up a team, and so I don't know. I'll try it out this year. I mean, maybe if it's just to just like play around, like meet some people or something, just like Gotta try it
Mm,
out. Never know, you know. We're not gonna be the new Astralis or some other, you know, big name team,
yeah,
you know, because we haven't. I mean, this is more. Uh, this is a bit easier to see that we're not gonna be that because there's a specific skill ceiling that no, not a skill ceiling, but like, uh, you know, you need skill to perform in that, and knowing that it literally directly correlates with how much time you put in and how well you practice. Like we know that this is just an amateur team of ours that we're probably gonna be like just chilling with. But yeah, I feel like all the way with the genius then, right?
yeah.
You also do have to put in work, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's most of it. It's you know, I would dare to say a genius is probably an introvert. You know, he doesn't talk much. He doesn't. He's in his own. He's in his own mind. He's in his own little world. She, he, is in his is there in their own little world most of the time. Disconnected, trying out,
Might be.
trying out things that seem impossible to most people or seem pointless. And yeah, seeing something other people don't for some reason.
Yeah, that might be it. Well, I don't know. Don't know the definition of a genius. It might be different for everyone, but
Well, yeah, there are different definitions of a genius.
it kind of makes sense. It's probably more you're more likely to see a person because I feel like extroverts, right? They expend their energy outwards, like they just give it to other people, but they say they get energy from other people, but they're like their focus is a bit different.
Yep.
They don't focus so much on like a specific task and a progress that you do in that task, I would imagine. But they're more, yeah, although, again, I'm not a psychologist, I don't know
Well,
much
good
about the
speakers
types,
and
but
stuff, good speakers and people and shit are do a lot. Any genius does a lot of work probably behind the scenes. So even if you see an extrovert or you think somebody's an extrovert, they could just be putting on a show for the
mm,
people.
okay.
Um, because that's what well is I guess their domain. You know, if it is a public speaker, it might seem, you know, by default you might say it's an extrovert, but it might be an introvert who is really passionate about speaking,
That's
doing
correct,
public
though,
speak.
yeah.
Um, and most of the work is still going to be behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's probably true. Well, and we have how long? Another week? Another week to finish the project? Is it on Friday, right? Like literally next week when we're doing it, the the
Well,
final presentation and
I think they're giving us until Monday. No,
oh right. I feel like the
I'm not sure.
presentation or something happening Friday. So,
Mm.
but yeah, it'll be a nice little experiment to see what next week will be like because it's kind of like there's a lot of things to still do, but now we're gonna see, you know, how the scope creep, how we deal with it, right? Because it's like maybe we realize, oh, we need this and this and that, and then one more feature and one more, and then like, ah, damn, you know. But the main
Have you got an MVC already?
minimum viable
Yes.
product, yeah, it's working.
Okay.
It's good. We're just working on some improvements, I guess, and when we were so the thing is we were showing it off to I mean and people listening might not even understand what the hell we're talking about. Like we were given a task to make a quiz game, right? And a quiz game is usually multiplayer because you play with different people, you do a quiz, right? So we were doing the presentation to the client, was it on Monday or something, right?
Yep.
Like this week. I don't think they understood that we had networking done. We just like we showed off how we connected to the server together.
Do
And I
you
don't
not
think
speak?
and I don't think he like the client realized that we're like because we were showing and we said, oh yeah, you can connect with other and like you just they afterwards they're like, So, okay, I see. It's kind of good because you can like surprise them, being like, "Bam, we have this now." Like, but I don't
Yeah.
know. How's your So just to finish up, wrap up. Um,
Right.
how is your team then going? Like, do you feel like it's a sufficient amount of time, like one more week? Because it's literally like what 33% of the whole time that's still
What?
left. Like we have
Yes.
gone
I mean,
through.
we're fine. I think next week is just going to be, um, well, we're going to have on Monday, we're going to be presenting a working thing, as long as the front end manages, because on the back end, we're pretty much done. Uh, but, and then next week, we're going to be actually doing all the things we should have been doing all along. So, writing our tests.
Oh,
Fuck.
what?
Do you hear that?
I think so. What is that?
Oh, wow.
That was just like a
Nice.
slight noise. What was that? Is it a fire
Super
truck
loud
or something?
motorbike.
Oh, well,
You know, some
people
people
having
think they're
fun,
really
right?
cool when their bike is loud.
Yeah,
Um,
that's you see kids with like 50 cc's taking their exhaust pipes off just to make the stupidly
yeah,
outrageous noise, but then they only go so fast. And if you take your exhaust off, you're actually losing power because it's like the engine loses the force that goes against it, and
yeah.
everything is calculated to like anyway.
We
It's such a
can wrap
weird
this now.
tangent.
Wrap this up.
Yep. So we're checking next week to see how we're doing anyway. Hopefully
Hopefully a
we'll
little
be
bit
done with the
better.
project. Yep. Be better. It was a very nice, interesting conversation with you. I've spotted some things, like your swearing bit, for example. I was like, it does indicate something, right? It's like you must have had a busy day and like tiring week or something.
Frustration
Yeah.
maybe.
Frustration, yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Anyway, thanks for the conversation, man. And
yeah, man.
thanks anyone who tuned in, who listened to the podcast, and we'll catch you next week.
See you.